Hello, good morning and happy Friday. So my name is Jen Bailey and I'm a VSG athlete, and in today's video I wanted to go over the basics of mindful eating post VSG surgery. I know before VSG surgery there was no mindful eating. It was whatever I could get in was happening, and I would eat until I felt incredibly full. Apparently there's different cues your body gives you along the way as you start to get full. I never acknowledged them, but after surgery this was something I definitely had to learn, like how my body reacts, what these cues are that it's giving me, and it's definitely helped along the way. So let's get into it. So yeah, first we'll go over what is mindful eating and, you know, kind of what it entails, and then I'll break down the word basics, like the acronym for all of that. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here, and I hope that you get some value out of this video. So mindful eating, you're using all of your physical and emotional senses to experience and enjoy the food choices that you make. Yeah, so let me just, sorry, I'm noticing I am real bright on this camera. What the heck? I wasn't a second ago. What's going on here? So yeah, you're using all these things while you eat your food. There's a lot going on. We definitely have to slow down with it. And yeah, maybe if this door gets closed, it might help. That's where we're at. So it's not just eating and, man, now I look like it's nighttime. Okay. You're not just eating and done. We can't eat the way we used to. It just doesn't work for us anymore. We have this real tiny tummy, and we have to make these changes in our life. So let's go over what this acronym is. So it's called BASICS, and BASICS. And let's break it down. So the B, belly, check for hunger. Are you hungry? I know back then I would eat because I was bored. I would just see food in the fridge, in the pantry, and like, oh, okay, like, it looks good, I'm gonna have it. Was I hungry? No, but that's where I was at. Maybe there's others that were like me, and maybe you just do it because the food tastes good in that moment and you want to work it down. I don't know. So belly, check for hunger. Are you legit hungry? A lot of the times we're thirsty, and we know after surgery it's really important for us to stay hydrated. So try drinking a little bit, have some water, have some of your electrolytes if you're really active. Do those things and then gauge it from there. You know, did you just have a snack? But we know we also have these time frames that we need to work with. We shouldn't be drinking 30 minutes before we eat or 30 minutes after. Some people do 45 minutes, you know, on both ends of it. You got to check it out. Know what goes on with your body. Everyone is different. So assess your food. You've made your snack, you've made your meal. What does your food look like? Is it appealing? Is it something that you really wanted? Or is it something that's gonna benefit you? What does it smell like? Like, use all the senses and just appreciate the food that's in front of you. I've noticed that really helps me a lot. And side note, I much more prefer mush. Like mushy food works for me. You know, maybe there's others out there that are like me. I don't know. My husband gets real grossed out because I'm okay with it. I can just eat like beans and throw some salsa on it. Sometimes I'll have one of those little smart carb, like little tortillas. Those are like literally this big. You just tear it up and it's just like a little bowl of mush. And I'm okay with that. Maybe with some vegan chorizo on it. Yeah. Assess your food, check out what's going on that plate, and, you know, make sure you're really good. S is for slow down. We are adults, we are busy, some of us have kids, we have things going on what feels like a mile a minute. So you got to take the time to slow down and eat your food. For me, sometimes I think of myself as like a mule, like you're just putting your heels in and going, no, this is my time. This is what I need for me to be okay in this meal setting. I'm going to take a bite. I'm going to put my fork down while I'm having a conversation. Even if I'm sitting there and like eating lunch solo and I'm watching a video on YouTube, fork down, watch a couple minutes or a minute, you know, depends, and get back to it. So slowing down is a big deal because our body is going to start giving us those cues of when we're getting full. And if we're just eating it really fast, all of a sudden we don't know and we feel like our tummy feels a certain kind of way. You know, it may feel like tight or it's just not good. So just slow down and it'll help you realize when your body is full, satisfied, you name it, but do all that good stuff. Investigate your hunger throughout the meal. So it kind of goes back to like, are we eating because it's just sitting there in front of us? Are we mindlessly eating if we're watching something? Like if you haven't listened to those cues your body's given you, like when you start to get full, you'll get a sigh. You'll just go like, okay, something's going on there. Your tummy's coming close to like being capped out. Maybe if you've gone a little over, you'll get that kind of weird burp thing happening. Sometimes for me, depending on like the heaviness of the mush that I'm eating, it'll literally feel a little heavy sitting in my stomach. Like, it's weird, but that's just me. So investigate it. Go like, am I still hungry? Is this food still appealing? And like, have I reached my limit? Sometimes when I eat, my eyes are obviously bigger than my stomach. We still have those, what's the word? Like, you know, I still sometimes do things as if before I had my surgery. So my mind will still be in that thought process of, I can eat all of this. I know, like, I literally know dang well I can't eat all of that, but I'll still make this portion that's kind of like a regular size stomach portion. So as you're going throughout your meal and you're realizing all these things, it's okay to not eat the rest of your food. I've had that a few times where, like just yesterday, I made a couple eggs and I had some like chorizo with it and it was just too much. So going in, I was like, okay, this is going to be great. Yes, it's delicious. Everything was awesome about it, but not even halfway through, I started getting those cues and I was like, oh, okay. I can't eat all this. Like, I shouldn't eat all of this. It's number one, it's not going to do anything great for me. I'm going to feel terrible. My stomach's going to hurt. And then ultimately I just packed it up, threw it in the fridge, and I had it for another meal later on. So go with your gut as you're investigating your meal. C, chew your food thoroughly. It's something I know my grandma used to tell me when I was a kid, like, you have to chew this many times, and I thought it was so cute because, you know, she was older, like, great. But that's something that we definitely have to incorporate post-surgery. We can't just park it down, have these things. We have this new tiny tummy, and it works a little differently than most. So chew it thoroughly. What are the tastes and textures and things going on in your mouth? Like, learn to appreciate that awesomeness of your meal. And again, as you do this, you're taking your time throughout your meal. You're not just shoveling it in and done. Yeah, ask yourself, like, are you appreciating this, or is it just something to have? I really try and appreciate the meals, the snacks, the food that I take in, because I know I have limited space. And yeah, there's another question in my notes. You can ask, what happens to the food as I chew? I don't ask myself that. Maybe you will. I don't know. I don't want to think about that. It grosses me out. I know the food's getting squished. I know it's getting even more mushy. I know it's going down to my tummy. Cool. So use it, disregard it, whatever. I choose not to ask myself that question. And S, savor your food. Savor the flavors. It's your meal. We have this limited amount of space. Enjoy every bite. Get all the flavors out of it. Maybe my husband doesn't like it, but when who knows, when I kiss him, I love garlic in my food, so I don't do it all the time, but man, that stuff tastes good, and I enjoy the flavor of it. Savor all of those things. What have you added to your meal? Did you put a little extra spicy sprinkles on them? Did you put a little extra of the pepper medley, like the fresh cracked pepper, that kind of stuff? For me, I stay away from salt, because salt my whole life has been like a trigger for headaches. So if I have to use like the Himalayan salt, sometimes I will, but it's pretty much like not a thing. I just enjoy all of the flavors that are in my food. And you'll also learn, as you're trying to savor, there may be something you come across that just ain't right for you. Learn from it and don't put it in the next one. Yeah, so those are the basics of mindful eating post-VSG. Remember, so listen to your body for those fullness cues. They're there. I trust and believe they are there. They've always been there. We used to ignore them. Now I've learned to realize what they are and how my body reacts as I'm getting full. And things change as we go through this journey, but I hope you have gotten some value out of this. If you have any questions, definitely put them out there. I will do my best to answer. If you have things for me, go for it. I'm an open book here. Yeah, so as usual, you can follow along on my journey. I'm on Instagram as Jen_Bailey17, and on Strava, just as Jen Bailey. Strava is a free app. You can download the app to your phones, Android, iPhone, whatever. And yeah, follow along there. If you're nosy, if you want to hold me accountable to things, if you just want to see what things I'm doing, what's going on. So currently I'm training for a marathon coming up in November. I did pull a little bit of a muscle. I don't know if it's a pull, it's kind of a strain, who knows. Something in my groin when I was like going up a curb. So I'm gonna be using like the spin bike for a bit and doing some walking, and hopefully that won't set me back too much. Ooh, touch that thing. But yeah, check out the journey. Open book over here. So I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and do something awesome, but definitely be mindful about your food. Appreciate it, enjoy it, eat slowly, savor all the flavors. So until next time, sending light, love, and happiness. See you later.